Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another review, and today I have the LIFX indoor-outdoor waterproof LED multicolored floodlight. Now, it's really easy for me to get excited about a product like this because it ticks all the boxes. This LED light can do pretty much anything you'd ever expect an LED multicolored light to do, and then some, and I'll explain that. So for starters, the light can produce 1100 lumens of brightness, which is about equivalent to a 75 watt incandescent floodlight, which is plenty of light. But when you compare it to other multicolored LED bulbs on the market, you'll find they're a lot lower. They tend to be 60 watts or lower, so for about the same money, you're getting a much brighter light. It's also indoor and outdoor compatible, so you can use this outside as a floodlight. You can use it inside if you want to as well. It's got a nice weather seal here. When you slide it into a fixture outside, it's going to seal it against the elements. Matter of fact, it's got an IP65 rating. Now, IP stands for ingress protection, but IP65 means that this can be used in direct rain, in the snow, in the winter. You're not going to have any issues with it, so incredibly durable. Now, as far as efficiency goes, even though it produces 1100 lumens of brightness, which again is incredibly bright, running this on average in the home is about $1.50 a year in cost. So you're saving a lot of money over a standard incandescent bulb. Now, as far as light production goes, that's where things start to get really good on this bulb. So most of the multicolored bulbs out there are pretty good in the white spectrum of generating light. Where they fall short is when you move into the color spectrum. Any color you tend to produce outside of blue tends to be very dim. And I've tested a lot of those multicolored bulbs. I've had this for a couple of months, and I have to tell you, the 1100 lumens of brightness is there in the white spectrum and through the color spectrum, so it throws a lot more color than any other bulb that I've tested. The other nice thing is, when you're in the white spectrum, a lot of the bulbs on the market allow you to vary the brightness. That's pretty standard. But varying the temperature, which is the actual tone of the color of the light in white, can be something that's really important. And a lot of the bulbs out there give you a very narrow adjustment in that temperature of the light. Now, when I say temperature, I don't mean the heat of the light. I mean, is it white where it's way in the top end of the Kelvin scale where you've got a white bluish light, or is it down in the low end of the Kelvin scale where you've got a warmer light? Because you want to be able to vary that. Maybe sometimes you're working on something really important and you want that really bright light so you can focus on something, but in the evenings you're trying to relax, so you'd like that softer light to be coming out of that bulb. So that adjustment of the Kelvin scale is really important. With this one, I don't know how they did it, but it allows you to adjust down to 1500 Kelvin, which is a really nice warm light, all the way up to 9,000 Kelvin, which is on the top end of the scale, which gives you an incredibly bright light, which is something you might want in your backyard. So they've done everything they can to give you tons of adjustment. And again, on the color side, I think it's 550 billion different colors that you can produce through the application, which is pretty incredible. So the basic red, blue, green are definitely in there, and you can tweak in between if you want. The other thing I'll talk about, which is really kind of for me a pet peeve, is how do I connect to it? If I've got to put it in my home, I've got to install a hub, I've got to connect the hub up to my network, I've got to connect the light to the hub. That's a headache. I don't like that. So what they've done here, the LIFX people have done, is built this to be Wi-Fi compliant, which means the minute I screw it in through the application, I can add it to my Wi-Fi network. I don't need a hub. And that's beautiful because I don't have to worry about all the hassle of the hub and is the hub going to go bad? Oh, it's not talking to the light bulb. I just basically screw this into a light fixture, connect it to the application. The application has the bulb join my network, and I'm off and running. And that's it. It's just that simple. So a lot of really big benefits built into it. Now, next what I'm going to do is show you just how easy it is to add this to the application and add it to your network. And then I'll come back and point out a few things that really separate this bulb from a lot of other competitors on the market. And again, I've tested a lot of multicolor LED bulbs, and this is my go-to bulb for both indoors and outdoors. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to connect it, and then I'll come back with a couple of final thoughts. Now I'll show you how easy it is to add the light to the application so you can start using it. Now, you don't need the application. If you bought this from Amazon and it's registered in your account and you've got an Alexa product, the minute you turn this on, the Alexa is going to find it, or you can say discover devices. It'll say, hey, I found a new light, and you can program it there. But I like using the application. It gives me a little bit more flexibility. So all you have to do to get started is download the LIFX application. You'll have to sign in and create an account. But once you do that and the application's on your phone, you basically just screw the bulb into any outlet that's live, and the bulb will come on, and then bring up the application. And you'll see it'll go through 4 colors, letting you know it's looking for the Wi-Fi network. When it comes back to white, you're ready to go. So you'll start on the main screen. You'll hit the plus button down in the right-hand corner. You'll say add a new device. I want to add a new light. It's taken a second looking for it. Now it's saying you want to set it up. I do. Hit that arrow. And it found the bulb just that quickly. So all I have to do is tap the bulb and hit the next arrow. And I can use it anywhere I want. I can use it at home if I want, or my studio. I'll use it in studio. That's where I'm sitting right now, and I'll click right. It's preparing the bulb. It's going to sit there. It says sit there until we've got the new device ready to go and connect it to your Wi-Fi. So it'll automatically refresh. Now, a camera comes up. It's really important you keep the instruction manual. Don't throw the box in the instruction manual out, because on the back of this manual is a little QR code that you've got to scan. So let me scan that real quick. And once I scan that, it now knows that the light is there and it's connecting to the light. So that saves you the trouble of going on your Wi-Fi network, trying to find this on your Wi-Fi network and adding it. If you've ever configured other LED multicolored bulbs before, it's a nightmare to go through that process, because maybe you find it, maybe you don't, and you have to reset it 15 times. So right now it's trying to connect to the light. It takes a couple of seconds because it has to find the light on the Wi-Fi network. It has to add it to my Wi-Fi network and connect it up to the application. So once this finishes, we're all set to start using the light, and that'll be pretty incredible. So right now it's going through that process. And again, just give it some time. It's very bright, so I'll slide it over a little bit further because it's kind of blinding me over there. 1100 lumens, that's pretty impressive. Uh-oh, did you see that blink there? That means something's going on. So it probably found the Wi-Fi network, and now it's connecting to the application. And any second now it should come up. Sorry for this, I probably should be singing a song while I'm waiting for this thing to come up. Congratulations, your device is now connected. Let's set your device's name and location. So if you hit the right arrow, you can use the home location. And again, these are all customizable. You can call the bulb anything you want, but once you pick a name, that's the name that your smart speaker is going to use. So don't pick something complicated like the right bulb on my desk down in the office, because you're going to have to say that every time you want to turn it on or change color. So pick a name that you can easily remember, that's easy to say, that isn't going to confuse the smart speaker, and you'll be all set to go. So I think we're done at this point. I'm all done with the new device, and that's pretty much how easy it is to add to your application and then start using it in your home. Now from the application, I can change colors, I can dim the bulb, I can make the bulb different densities, or I should say different temperatures inside the Kelvin scale, darker, lighter, brighter, whatever you need. But you can see just how bright this light is in the white spectrum, and it carries that luminescence, if you will, through the color spectrum as well. Okay, now that you know how easy it is to add this to your home network and control it, I wanted to mention a few things that you can use to compare this bulb against others you may be considering, so you make sure you get the right setup for you. The first one has to do with the brightness. As I mentioned before, it's 1100 lumens of brightness, which is about a 75 watt incandescent floodlight, and that is substantially brighter than most of the other ones on the market. You'll find a lot of them out there 800 lumens or even lower, which they'll produce light, but it's just not bright light. Now, it may be fine for a lamp in your living room, but if you're going to put a light outside to light up your backyard, you want to have a lot of power out there, so 1100 lumens is pretty nice. The other thing I like about it, which is again a big comparison between it and other bulbs, is the adjustment for the temperature of the light. Because a lot of them, if they narrow that Kelvin scale of what you can adjust down to a very narrow band, you can go a little bit warm and a little bit bright, but you don't have a lot of flexibility in there. This one goes down to 1500 Kelvin, which is really low on the scale, and it's a really nice warm light that you can use in your home if you're trying to relax, or if you're trying to wake up in the morning and have a bright light pop on. It also has the adjustment at the top end of the Kelvin scale up to 9000 Kelvin, which is a really bright light. So if you're working on a puzzle or something where you need really good lighting, you can do that. Or even in your backyard, to illuminate your backyard is nice. I love the fact that I don't have to use a hub. I have to say that again, you don't need a hub, which is really important. It's almost like LIFX looked at the market and said, okay, what can we do to improve on the bulbs that are out there? Let's get rid of the hub. And that's exactly what they did. So this bulb connects directly to your Wi-Fi network, directly to the application, no hub necessary, which is a major advantage when you're connecting it up initially and integrating it with things like Google Home or the Alexa product or any of those. That's something I didn't mention at the top of this, is that this can be controlled by your Alexa. If you're speaking at a smart speaker, you can tell it to turn a color, turn on, turn off. You can set timers against it in the application. All those things are built into the software, and that's something you really need to compare when you're looking at other bulbs, because a lot of the other bulbs, you can do it from your phone. Maybe it's a little tricky to get it configured, but once you get it configured, you can change the colors, but you can't use your smart speaker. And for me, not to be lazy, but I don't have my phone with me all the time, so being able to, shout at a smart speaker and have it do my bidding for me is really nice. And all things considered, it's about the same price as most of the other multicolored LED bulbs out there, so you're getting a whole lot more, I think, in this package than you are when you compare it to other products that are on the market. So hopefully you found this helpful. I like it an awful lot. I use it all over my home. I've got a bunch of them outside the house. They've been working really well through the winter, and I think it's a great value. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.